So you've seen the VA renovation flyer, and now you want additional details on the VA renovation loan, and we're going to dig into those right now. For me, there's two reasons that I'm really excited about the VA renovation program. One is that when I get a buyer that's pre-approved on a VA loan, their feedback to me is that when we're in a seller's market, sellers do not want to accept a VA buyer. They'd rather have, obviously, first all cash, after that conventional financing, after that FHA, and last on the list a lot of the times is the VA loan. And that's because they're worried about some of the costs, the termite, the health and safety issues that may come up on the appraisal, requiring the seller to do repairs on a home that they're trying to sell, and they might not have the funds available to do those repairs. So this program really solves that issue because we'll close the transaction like a normal transaction within around 30 days, and then we'll start any repairs that are required after closing, taking that liability and cost and expense off of the seller. And a lot of the times we're able to go back to those sellers and say, we can do a VA renovation loan. Let's explore this option before you turn down a VA buyer. And really, we want our veterans to be able to purchase properties, and we want the VA loan program to be something that the seller is excited to accept because they're selling their home to someone that has served our country. The number two reason why I love the VA renovation loan is that our veterans and active military members can purchase their home and make it their home. Obviously, the health and safety items will be required, but on top of that, they can do minor renovations to the property and really make it theirs without dipping into credit card and savings, which is so important. So let's look at what properties are eligible on the VA loan. We can do single family homes, 2 to 4 unit properties, plan unit developments, condos, and foreclosure properties. The loan to value is based on the new sales price. So the contract is still written at whatever the buyer would want to purchase that property for. And then on our side, on the loan side, we're going to take that contract price and we're going to add in the repairs and costs. And that's how we're going to figure our new sales price. We're also going to have the appraiser go out to the property and appraise the home based on the value of the home after improvements. So when we're doing the value, we're actually giving credit for all of those repairs that are being completed. The appraiser is going to look at comps and they're going to do adjustments on the appraisal as if those repairs are actually completed. The work must be completed by a licensed contractor. There's no self-help. The main reason behind this is they want the work done right, and they don't want someone doing the work that's doing the work in nights and evenings when they're not working. So we get a licensed contractor in there to do the repairs. The contractor is chosen by the buyer, and our recommendation is that the contractor and the buyer get out to the property within the first 3 days of an accepted offer. And that will really keep the timeline moving quick. When you hear renovation loans getting extended and taking a long time, the main reason is that the contractor and the buyer did not get out to the property within that first 3 days to determine what work would be completed. And I recommend, although it's not required, a HUD 203K consultant. Getting that consultant out to the property, it's kind of like the buyer's advocate. They can walk through, they can tell you what's definitely going to be required, and they can work with the contractor to tell them what has to be done, and the buyer can kind of walk through and do their wish list, and that way everything that would need to be completed on the property for closing would all be taken care of on that initial bid, and the bid is given to the appraiser to determine value. And the disbursements and draws, how the contractor gets paid, is all handled by iMortgage, and I'll go into detail how those disbursements and draws work. So our standard VA guidelines apply. We don't have any additional credit overlays on the renovation program. We're still looking at a max purchase price of 100% loan to value, and like a typical VA loan, there's an upfront funding fee and no monthly mortgage insurance premium, 100% financing. We can do this loan with a purchase, or we can do it on a refinance transaction for a veteran that already owns a property. They do not have to have a VA loan now to do a VA renovation on a refinance. We can do the VA renovation loan. We can refinance them out of their current mortgage and into a renovation loan. The minimum credit score is 620, and the seller contribution is allowed is up to 4%. And I have some creative financing ideas with seller contributions, so definitely make sure to ask me about those. $5,000 is the minimum repair amount, so total repairs must be a minimum of $5,000 and a maximum of $35,000, including all repair costs, labor, everything max $35,000. The repairs must start within 30 days of closing and be completed within 3 months. There's a maximum of 2 draws, so this is how the contractor gets paid. The initial draw, we look at the bid and we take the total materials cost, or 50% of the labor plus materials, whichever is less is going to be our initial disbursement. And that initial disbursement usually takes place within the first week of after closing. The final draw will be completed after the appraiser goes back out to the property, confirms that all the work has been completed, and then we do our final disbursement. For the contractor, our underwriter is going to condition for the contractor's license, liability insurance and bonding, compliance history. We're going to look at the contractor's license board, and we're going to complete a contractor's profile. So now we get to look at eligible repairs. This is where it gets really fun. And then we can also look at ineligible repairs. So eligible repairs first, we can do repair replacement of roof and gutter, HVAC systems, heating, plumbing, electrical, flooring. We can do flooring in the whole house. We can do flooring in just a bathroom or a kitchen. We can do any minor remodeling that does not include a structural repair is eligible on a VA renovation loan. We can do painting exterior and interior, weatherization, including weather stripping to doors and windows, purchase of appliances. Something that I get really excited about is if a house was built before 1980, it had different building codes, and a lot of the times those homes do not have insulation in the walls and in the attic. So we can make the home more comfortable for the homeowner, and we can lower their utility bills by not having so much energy cost. And in the state of California, we have a program through Energy Upgrade California where the homeowners can get additional rebates on any type of energy efficient improvements. And to be eligible for those rebates, you have to get an energy audit. So my recommendation is find a home inspector, because you're going to do a home inspection anyway, that also does energy audits. And in the energy audit, they'll test the ductwork for leakage. They'll pressurize the whole home and test to see what type of leakage comes out of doors and windows. They're also going to take an infrared camera around the house, which I think is really cool. They shine it and they show you where there's no insulation in the walls and in the attic, and where there's a lot of energy loss. And then they put everything into a model and tell you what rebates would give you, or what repairs would give you the best energy efficiency for your home. And they'll also tell you what rebates you're eligible for. So the worse the house is, the more rebates that are available. We can also do repair and replacement of decks, patios, porches, pool repairs up to $1,500. And next, let's look at the ineligible list. So as you know, cannot do any major rehab work, cannot relocate a load-bearing wall. We cannot close on a home that is uninhabitable at the close of escrow, but if there is a property that they find that's uninhabitable at the close of escrow, I do have another loan solution for that. So it doesn't mean it can't be done, it just can't be done on the VA renovation loan. So definitely talk to me about that. We cannot add room additions like we can on our homestyle renovation programs. And we also cannot do repairs that require detailed drawing or architectural exhibits. Any work that requires a schedule longer than 3 months, we cannot do. And landscaping, a lot of the times there isn't a lot of value in landscaping, and we are not able to do landscaping repairs. Let's look at additional loan fees. So every time the appraiser has to go back out to the property, and on the VA renovation loan, that's just one time, that additional final inspection is $100. We look to the contractor to tell us what permits are required. And we have to add in the cost of additional or any permit fees. We have the title company do an additional title search, which is a minor expense. And then we also have a 10% contingency reserve. So we're going to request an additional 10% be built into the loan amount, and if that contingency reserve is not used, then it gets credited back towards the principal balance once the repairs are completed. A quick recap on the process is that once the buyer has an offer accepted, they're going to meet with the contractor to obtain the bid within the first 3 days. We're going to submit the loan using our standard loan procedure. We're going to have the underwriter review the loan, have the appraisal ordered with the copy of the bid in hand. We're going to collect all of our loan conditions and process a loan just like our usual. And then when it's time for closing, we'll have our final approval received. We'll order our loan documents. Buyer goes to escrow to sign the loan documents. And we go ahead and close our loan. Then our renovation funds, within about 3 to 5 days after closing, we're going to put those funds into the specialized escrow account and do our initial disbursement. Then the project is monitored by our disbursement department, and they get updates every 2 weeks. Once the project's complete, we send the appraiser back out, they do their final inspection, and then we disperse our final funds. I'm Vicki Sweeten with iMortgage, home loan consultant and renovation specialist. I'm here to help answer any questions you may have about the VA renovation loan or other loan programs. Please feel free to call me. I'm here to help you. Have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.